Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the Hasbro Ultimate Spider-Man and Sinister 6 Marvel's Vulture. How tall is the Vulture? Well, we put a tape measure next to him. He stands at about 5.5 inches. If you count the wings, though, he stands closer to 6 inches. He does come with a pair of wings. Of course, he should, because he's the Vulture after all. The wings don't really have a whole lot going on for them. I mean, they're just one solid piece of plastic. Some extra paint could have really been afforded here to bring out some of the details in the sculpt of the wings. The wings look good, but the lack of paint just robs them of really shining as something spectacular. Because they are also just one piece of plastic, there's no real posability to them. They're just a plastic set of wings. To plug them into his back, well, you plug them in, but they sit really loose. Maybe a secondary peg would have been really good if you had like 2 pegs, peg them into his back, would have given him a little more of a secure connection. But they do sit a little on the loose side. I guess as long as you don't really bang it, or, while you're playing, you don't accidentally bang the wings, they won't fall off as they are. But, I wish they were connected a little bit better. Overall appearance of Vulture is very different, I have to say, for what a conventional Vulture character may look like. He looks actually a little bit more like a reptile, or kind of a hybrid between like a reptile and a bird. He has the aspects of Vulture in the beak, and of course the coloring of the green, but that's basically where he stops from looking like a conventional Vulture. I'm going to go ahead and take the wings off because I know I'm just going to keep banging them. I'm just going to put them right there. Yeah, the detailing on him is interesting because he looks a little like a reptile. He actually kind of looks like a cross between Scorpion, another one of Spider-Man's villains, and Vulture. Kind of like if the two came together and just made this Vulture, Scorpion hybrid here. He's got some great coloring, though, even though he is strange looking. At least I have to kind of accept the fact that in some incarnations of characters, they look so drastically different than maybe how I look at Vulture. For me, I always think of like the bald old Vulture from back in the comics. This is very drastically different. Kind of like, I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Green Goblin. I like the more conventional Green Goblin where he's got just the mask. So, he is interesting. Not really what I would consider Vulture, but he's got a really interesting look to him. He's got some great coloring here with the lime greens and some dark greens here. All this cool panel armor that he's got all over his body. Of course, the talon feet have to be also included there for it to be a Vulture. And some nice, some of that nice lime green incorporated into the talon claws, like that. He's got peg holes on the undersides of his feet, but he doesn't really do any. He doesn't peg into anything necessarily. He's got some open hands, more so for grabbing Spider-Man than for accessories, because he doesn't come with any accessories at all. There's the back of him again. Really nice look, great looking figure, and like the back of it looks like, again, something that a tail should be attached. If I was to hold the figure like this, you probably would think that that's the Scorpion, minus of course his tail. Some nice exhaust areas on the back here, imagining that's where his jet propulsion would come from. Again, beautiful looking sculpt. I like the face. It's different, yes. He also kind of looks like Vulture Man from Thundercats too. Maybe just the way that the face is. Nice vibrant red eyes. Got a little bit of that gray. That really doesn't make much of an appearance anywhere else on the figure. It's really only in the area of the head. Nice red there, also in the interior center of his armored chest. Basically everything nowadays is armored. You couldn't imagine a super villain, or a superhero for that matter, not having armor. Like, especially super villains. They can't just have them in wearing regular costumes. Everyone's got to be armored up. And obviously Vulture here is no exception. Let's look at his posability. His head rotates all the way around. There's a ball joint going on there. His head hinges up and down as well. The arms hinge outward, so that's some nice additional posability to go for. Rotation in the arms. He's got a bend in the elbow and a rotation in the forearm. I really like that some figures now are doing this, where you've got the hinge in the shoulders, which is pretty common, but you've got that kind of universal joint happening in the forearm, where not only can you bend the arm, but you can also rotate the forearms as well. A lot of times it means you sacrifice the rotation in the wrists, but that's a sacrifice I think I'm more than happy to give up. The legs do, unfortunately, have a little bit more limitation to them. That's about all you can really do with the legs. They can't really even bend that much back either, because they hit up against his Vulture behind. Just showing you what that looks like, just for anybody who was interested. Let's go ahead and put his wings back on. A very unique design for Vulture, I have to admit. Reads a little bit more like Scorpion to me, but I do dig the coloring. He still has a classic color scheme, even though he's much more armored up than a traditional Vulture for me. The only thing I would really nitpick, other than the fact that his legs are very limited in posability, is I wish that the wings had some more paint. Just very, very plain looking wings by comparison to really an overall decent looking figure. Today we were checking out the Hasbro. This was the Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man and the Sinister Six. This was Vulture. If you guys like this video, certainly hit it with a like. You a fan of Spider-Man? Perhaps also the Sinister Six. There's playlists there for you on the channel where you can go back and maybe check out videos that you might have missed maybe a couple months ago, a couple of years ago, even a couple of days ago, because there's always new content on this channel. If you guys also haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Non-painted wings? Don't hesitate. Click that little subscribe button down below. You won't miss future videos. I'll see you guys next time.